ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिर्वोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् Verse 263 परारब्धकर्मणि क्षीणे व्यवहारो निवर्तते कर्माक्षये त्वसौ नैव शाम्ये ध्यानसहस्रतः. So from verse 251 onwards, Vidyaranya is talking about the phalam, Jivan Mukti or Trupti or Shoka Nivrutti, Anujvara Nivrutti, which is enjoyed by this Jnani. And he looks at himself by contrasting himself with other ignorant people who have not gained knowledge. So it's purely a biography of a Jnani. We should understand very well, because he is going to dismiss everything, including Nididhyasanam. And therefore we feel I should also discard Nididhyasanam, etc. That's not a criteria, because we are talking about phalam. Jnana phalam we are talking. Means it is a biography of a Jnani. The result of the nishtha of this person, basically. Anyway, so he introduced, Vidyaranya introduced this topic in verse 254, and from verse 255 onwards, Vidyaranya says, well, how this Jivan Mukta person looks at himself. He says, since he has practiced this Sankhya Buddhi, Atma Jnanam, well, through Shravanam, etc. So now he doesn't look upon himself as a mumukshu, sadhaka. He looks at himself as a ever free Atma, Nityamukta Atma. So, because the sadhanam will remain if sadhanam looms large in my mind, that shows that I am a sadhaka, the seeker. If I am a sadhaka, the seeker, I am not looking upon myself yet as a Nityamukta Atma, as a Siddha. Definitely not. So one who looks upon himself as just Atma, which is ever free. Either you say ever free, Nityamuktaha, either you say Atma, either you say Brahman. Everything is same. The word Atma stands for which is ever free. That is his nature. Anyway, so moksha is not a sadhyam for him, goal, but he says it is my swarupam. This is called nishtha. When you say moksha is not a sadhyam, but moksha is my nature, that is called nishtha. That's it. Not just by saying, but he knows, and therefore he doesn't resort to any sadhana, including Shravana, Manan, Nididhyasana, nothing. So since I am not a sadhaka and moksha is not a sadhya, there is no relevance for any type of a sadhanam in my case. Let Ajnanis may engage, into varieties of karma yoga, upasana, and Shravana Mananam, etc. So let them do any karma, Panchamahayagnas, and let them focus. My mind should be focused. He says, I have no vritti. Where is the question of a focusing of a vritti, etc. Aikagram I don't require because I am not a vritti at all. That is, it's such a thing. And therefore, he doesn't need upasana. And so, and then, he says, I don't have a jnanam, etc. Where is the question of Shravanam, Mananam, Nityasam also? I don't have a doubts, I don't have a Viparita Bhavana. But in your mind, Dehadhyasa is still there. Still, even Dehadhyasa is there. I don't need Nididhyasana. Amazing it is. It is amazing. If you understand that Dehadhyasa still occurred due to Prarabdha Vasana, but it is Mithya, if you are able to shade off as a Mithya, you don't need Nididhyasana. Amazing. And this thing, Prarabdha Vasana, will bring a Samanya Dhyasa, which we are talking also, and I will explain you further also, that will continue. But that is Badhitam, that is Mithya, etc. He understood clearly. It's never be like this. We shouldn't. I don't want to digress further. But what is a moksha? We should really understand this. Anyway, so those people who have a Viparita Bhavana, etc., let them practice in Nididhyasanam. Well, for me, there is no question of Nididhyasanam. Well, somebody asked a question, if you don't have a Dehadhyasa, how do you do Vyavara? It is not possible to do Vyavara without Dehadhyasa. And you claim that you don't need Nididhyasanam because you don't have a Dehadhyasa, Viparita Bhavana, and therefore you don't need any Nididhyasanam. But your Vyavara, your transaction with the world proves that you have a Dehadhyasa. You wear particular type of chappal and wear particular clothes and everything. So definitely you have a Dehadhyasa. And you say you don't have an identification with any Deha, three Dehas at all. Well, you put the food in the mouth, you do snanam, you wear chappal, you wear clothes, etc. And without Dehadhyasa, how is it possible? Well, then we said there are two types of Adhyasa. One is a Samanya Adhyasa, other is a Vishesha Adhyasa. I'll talk to you in Drugdasha Viveka also, he has talked. Vidyaranya talked about it in a little different way. I am going to remind you, which we have already studied. So, Samanya Adhyasa is required for a Vyavara. That's required. But it is common to all the beings in the world, including human beings. But on and above that, human being has a Vishesha because he is self-conscious. He is conscious of himself completely. And therefore, based on his consciousness about himself, he keeps judging about himself that I am an individual, I am so and so, and I am good, bad, etc. All judgments based on the three bodies he continuously judge, and those judgments basically torment him. So Vishesha Dhyasa torments the person. Vishesha Dhyasa is a cause of a samsara. And Vedanta removes this Vishesha Dhyasa. That's it. So I am so and so, etc. I am Jiva, I am human being, I am that. So it's a unique problem of a human being. And so, and based on that, there are all issues also, emotional issues also. And we gave example last time. It's a Puja Swamiji's example. Other acharyas also give. That the two dogs, even if they take part in a certain competition, etc., race, etc., one comes first, one comes second, then the other dog which comes second doesn't have a jealousy at all. That shows there is no self-conclusion. First, before jealousy, there should be a conclusion that I am second. I am less able compared to the one who has come first. That judgment should come. That judgment is not there. Based on a Samanya Dhyasa, human being has a Vishesha Dhyasa also. I am a human being. That's okay. There is another human being. He also says I am a human being. Both take part into race. One comes first, one comes second. Second one has Irsha, jealousy, suppose. Why? Oh, I put a lot of efforts. But I am failure. I did not come first. I may be less able compared to that. This is called Visheshatyasa. So this Samanya Adhyasa, I am a human being, etc., is just there. Like even a dog has that I am a dog. Whatever their concept. No, Swamiji, that also is not there. They don't have at all that I am a dog. No. Then there is a defect in the creation. They eat a certain type of food. And for progeny, etc., they go, that male dog goes to female dog. So they know that I belong to a particular type of species and she or belongs to the same species. That much awareness is there. That's called Samanya Adhyasa. They don't have that I am Brahman. If you say they don't have a Samanya Adhyasa, Deha Adhyasa also, then they should have this knowledge that I am Brahman. No, that's not there. They take a specific food, their movement, their everything, and the propagation of species, everything revealed they have a Dehatyasa. But how you have brought this issue? That is there in Adhyasa Bhashyam of the Brahma Sutra, and later also it has been discussed. Anyway, so this is the difference. Whatever they have a awareness about themselves, but they have awareness about that Deha, that I am this. Human being also has that. And that is the cause of experiencing prarabdha. That kind of a sentiency should be there. Body is inert. Body appears sentient. Then definitely sentiency is due to borrowed consciousness. That borrowed consciousness in the body is called Samanya Adhyasa. Without the sentiency, you will not have an experience of a joy or pleasure or a pain. And therefore, to experience pleasure, pain, the body should have a sentiency. Body should have sentiency, and it should have a borrowed consciousness, because this is just inert thing. We know very well it's inert. After the death of the body, we know that this is very inert. Now no experience of a pleasure, pain, etc. And that is required to experience prarabdha. That's a part of the arrangement of Ishvara. He is a karma phaladata, and so Samanya Adhyasa will continue. Based on that, a dog also will have experience of a pleasure, pain, etc. And so that is there. But the judgment takes place in a human being because he, she says, I am so and so. Why? Because he, she is self-conscious completely. Not ordinary consciousness of the body. Total consciousness. And therefore he is totally aware of himself. That brings all kinds of conclusion about himself. And those conclusions bring all types of emotional issues. That has gone. But even Swamiji, he has that human being. He really thinks I am a human being. No. That is ahankar. Even a ordinary ahankar also is free. Then, but you said it continues. It continues. Anything which continues means it is satyam, you cannot say. In fact, mithya is one which continues, but which does not have any substantiality. Because Samanya Adhyasa continues. That's the Ishvara's arrangement. Even if that thought also will be there. I am a human being and I should wear chappal, I am a sannyasi. This is badhitam. Samanya Adhyasa also is badhitam in his case. We call badhita ahankara. If that is reality, then I am Brahman cannot be the reality. I am a human being is a reality, then I am Brahman cannot be the reality. So even that will not go, even after jnanam, but it is definitely mithya for him. Adhyasa nivrutti has already taken place. So kindly understand this very well, because this is a big issue. And we are going to discuss many things he is going to bring about in this. So definitely animals also have a Samanya Adhyasa to run their life, go through experience, propagate species, exhaust prarabdha. Animals etc. do not have a kartrutvam. They do not have a sophisticated pramatrutvam, a feeble pramatrutvam. Feeble. Because they need to contact. the world in order to at least to sustain themselves. They should see a prey. And when they see a prey, well, as a conscious being, I am a knower. I see that feeble Pramatrutvam is there. But feeble and total and all that is based on what? Is based on the Sukshma Sharira. The Pramatrutvam belongs to Sukshma Sharira, Ahankar. It doesn't belong to Atma. And therefore, that is due to a difference. Itaratamya means it's Sukshma Sharira. And so, well, the mind is such in which the consciousness has inhibited, let us say. Puja Swami's word, consciousness is inhibited. Whereas in a human being, the human mind, consciousness is uninhibited. And because of that, he is totally. You need to have a consciousness in order to judge yourself. And therefore, well, self-consciousness 100% brings 100% self-judgments, self-conclusions. Those conclusions about himself is a cause of samsara. That's called Vishesha Dhyasa. A deliberate superimposition. Deliberate. General superimposition with the body will be there. Part of Ishvara's order. In order to exhaust prarabdha. In order to have a propagation of species. In order to undergo experiences of sukha dukkha. That is needed. And therefore, a sentience in the body is needed. Sentience in the body is definitely due to consciousness. And so a general thing will be there. Anyway, so then Vishesha Adhyasa alone is a problem for the human being. Then they don't have that problem of a samsara, etc., Irsha, these, that. And therefore, well, and so I would say, well, Pashvadayaha Muktaha. And therefore, Pashu, etc., are really better than me. So why can't I, let me start praying rather than attending your class. Let me start praying to become animal in the next life. Well, problem, well, is you have a problem, but when you have a problem, there is a potential that you can solve the problem. If you don't know that you have a problem, there is no question of finding a solution. So a human being can come out of the whole thing, whole cycle. So basically, if you face this problem, so well, the potential also has been given to you to solve the problem. Therefore, human life is better. So basically, a Vishesha Dhyasa, of course, is the responsible factor for samsara and other issues. Samsara means all issues. Anyway, so Samanya Dhyasa gives a biological pain. Vishesha Dhyasa gives emotional pain. That's called samsara. Sentience in the body is needed to have a biological pain. But over and above, I am in pain. That's a Vishesha Dhyasa. Your conclusion on the basis of this body's condition, body's jvara, you have anujvara, that I am in pain. That Vishesha Dhyasa will go away. It's a very sensitive thing and we should discuss, because Dhyasa continues itself, people feel very much naturally. That is because we never say like that. But anyway, so worldly Vyavahara, well, Vidyaranya says worldly Vyavahara also takes place because of Samanya Dhyasa. Jnanam will remove Vishesha Dhyasa and consequent worry, etc. But we are tired of this Dhyasa. So we want to ask you one question. Why can't we practice Nididhyasanam to remove even Samanya Dhyasa? Well, Vidyaranya says any amount of meditation will not remove Samanya Dhyasa because it is caused by Prarabdha. Caused by Prarabdha is a God's will. Your Nididhyasanam is based on your will. Okay? So your will, well, is God's will. No, that is not the criteria. Okay? Your will is your will. Then God's will. Once your will stops, God's will starts. Okay? That is the thing. Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu. Karmanyeva adhikara. Your will. Ma phaleshu. Later situations come, Based on your free will, what you have done, karma, and I will shape your result. It's my will. So this is very clear. Creation is a joint venture of a Jiva's free will and God's free will. That's how it is. And therefore, basically, prarabdha means it's karma phala. It's God's will. So, prarabdha will, well, definitely has brought samanya dhyasa. And therefore, nididhyasanam based on your will not remove samanya dhyasa, which is generated due to prarabdha. To experience prarabdha, a general identification with the body is essential. And that is how there is a prarabdha suspension in a life every day. When there is a general identification, even with the body, goes away. No experience of pleasure or pain. That's called deep sleep state. And when it goes away forever. That's called prarabdha is over. Death of prarabdha. Not suspension, death. So anyway, basically, this any amount of a nididhyasanam or dhyanam cannot remove the samanya dhyasa. And as long as prarabdha is there, samanya dhyasa will be there, including hunger, thirst. You should feel that there is a hunger, pang of hunger. You should feel thirst. You should have a biological. You will have a biological pain, etc. Not you should have. I'm sorry. So that kind of blessing is not required. Anyway, and that cannot be removed by jnana. If it removes, well, a jnani won't know his body at all. If biological pain has gone, means sentience in the body has gone. Because I am consciousness. I am distinct from the body. Body is inert. I am just consciousness. And by understanding that, the body also loses consciousness. Wow, what a great thing. And if body loses consciousness, we call chetana. In Sanskritam there is a word. Bhagavan says it is my vibhuti. In 13th chapter he says. While talking about dhrutihi, etc., he says chetana. Chetana is sentiency in the body. I will tell you how it has come. Anyway, so basically, if that also is removed, then jnani won't know his body at all, because then he is aware that there is no body at all. And then, prarabdha cannot give pleasure, pain also, then there is prarabdha. If pleasure, pain is not there, where is prarabdha? And if general sentience in the body also has gone away, the body has become what? Inert. Means dead. Means that every jnani has become brahmanishta, means he is dead. He is dead. No, Swamiji, he is there. Therefore, a general identification will remain in order to experience prarabdha. So Vidyaranya says, Dhyana sahasrataha. Even if you do thousands and thousands of meditation, asau naiva shamyeta. Asau means the samanya dhyasa and samanya vyavara based on that, and hunger, thirst, etc. All these vyavara. Well, naiva shamyeta. And that is how even for a jnani, Bhiksha is there. Shariram kevalam karma kurvan napnoti kilvisham. Bhagavan said. Shariram kevalam karma. Shariram karma means the karma called Bhiksha, which sustains your body. He does. That's it. Why he should do even that? Because he feels hunger. Good. He because the body is sentient, so he feels good. Anyway, he feels thirsty. Anyway, so this is a general samanya dhyasa. And but I want to avoid this even biological pain. Emotional pain, of course, Vishesha dhyasa has gone. Okay. But I want to remove then biological pain. Then Shastra, alaukik prakriya will not be helpful. Jnanam, based on Shastra, will not be helpful. You should have a laukika method. Okay? What? Take a painkiller. Or self-hypnotism. Yeah, that is the best thing. Self-hypnotism also, self-hypnosis will to them avoid the pain. So, I heard so, I saw that a person, basically goes through surgery and without anesthesia by practicing self-hypnosis. So then, well, you can do that. Shastra will not help to remove biological pain. So basically, there are other methods to remove, to avoid biological pain, to manage biological pain. And the one is the base thing is a Tylenol, Pelana, anyway. So, but it has nothing to do with moksha, adhyatma, or jnanam. And therefore, Vidyaranya says, don't connect your biological pain to knowledge or moksha. Talk about emotional pain, which is called anujvara. That is gone. Verse 264. Viralatvam vyavahrutehe ishtam chedhyanamastute avadikam vyavahrutim pashyandhyayamyaham kutah. So if people are trying to persuade, the Jnani to do some meditation, and Jnani says no. Meditation means nidhyasana. Jnani says no. So Vishesh, this Vishesh Adhyasa is gone. For Vyavara, Samanya Adhyasa is more than enough. Then Prarabdha takes care of Samanya Adhyasa and Samanya Vyavara. And I can't eliminate both this through Nidhyasanam, and he doesn't want to do Nidhyasanam also. He doesn't want to remove this Samanya Adhyasa because he says it is not my will at all. But why can't you do Dhyanam at least to reduce the Vyavara? Because more the Vyavara means your mind is more active. So by practicing Dhyanam at least, mind slows down and thereby Vyavara is reduced, and therefore the vulnerability for the moksha will go away. More Vyavara you do, Vyavara means, basically extrovertedness. And more Vyavara you do, more you will be extrovert, so you will go away from yourself. And so even though you have a nishtha in yourself, but there are all chances, we are telling you, there are all chances that you will be definitely deviate from moksha, from your awareness of about the reality of yourself. You will deviate. So better, what we are suggesting is at least do Dhyanam to reduce Vyavara, so that you can retain your moksha. Well, so Jnani says, well, I don't want to, why should I reduce Vyavara? First thing is, because Vyavara is not an obstacle at all to my mukti. It is, he says, you are asking me to reduce. It's like what? He said, well, like suppose, in a given theater, they show a certain movie. And in that movie, there is a sandstorm, right? Based on certain Gulf country, there is some love story, etc. And there is a sandstorm, etc. And and this theater people, they always have 3 shows of that movie, right? Each of 2.5 hours or something. So then somebody suggested to that owner of the theater, well, if you continue to show this kind of a movies, that kind of a movie, well, ultimately your the screen is going to be totally rubbish with a lot of sand, and we will not be able to clean that also. So so basically, so whether you show movies or you don't show the movies, the screen will remain totally indifferent, distinct from what has been shown. So this number of Vyavara, etc., less or more, well, has no effect upon me. Why? Vyavara is not based on I? No. Vyavara is based on what? Vyavara is based on Ahankara. Ahankara is Vyavara. Ahankara is a Karta, Bhokta, Pramata, either a Jnana Vyavara or a Karma Vyavara, done at a level of Ahankara, mind. I am not the mind. Therefore, any amount of Vyavara done at the Ahankara level, mind level, cannot create any damage to me. And therefore, and that is how Indriyani Indriyartheshu Vartante. Indriyani Indriyartheshu Vartante. So vyavaharutehe viralatvam. Viralatvam means reduction. Reduction of a vyavaharuti, reduction of a vyavahara. Ishtam is desirable. Iti chet, if you say so, that reduction in vyavahara is desirable for me, well, iti chet, if you say so, tarhi te dhyanam astu. May you meditate, because you feel more vyavahara means disturbance will come. I will not practice any meditation. Because I don't see any vyavahara as a threat to my moksha. Vyavahara is totally empirical. It is at the ahankara level. I am not a ahankara, and therefore my moksha is not like an apple, well, which is I have kept on my belt head, So if I won't keep balance, it will fall down. Same way, if I do a lot of vyavahara, my moksha will be fallen off. No, nothing will happen. So abadikam vyavaharutim pashyan. Abadikam vyavaharutim. Vyavaharuti means it's a feminine noun. Abadikam vyavaharutim. So I look upon vyavahara as a non-threat. Abadika means doesn't negate my moksha. It is not a threat to my moksha. Why you are saying like that? Because jnanam, our definition of jnanam is this, which cannot be disturbed by any mental mode. Which with jnanam? We are talking about arithmetic jnanam. Our arithmetic jnanam also cannot be disturbed by the mental condition. 2 plus 2 is equal to what? 4. In this condition, my mind is it's undisturbed. And suppose my mind is very much disturbed. Now if I ask you 2 plus 2 is equal to what? I don't know, because my mind is disturbed. Don't say that. Jnanam is something which has it is not affected by your mental condition. And therefore, basically, no vyavahara can disturb this fact that I am Nitya Mukta Atma, whatever may be the condition of the mind. That's what Bhagavan said in 16th chapter. Prakashancha pravuttincha mohamevacha pandava. Prakasha, pravutti and moha. 3 conditions of the mind. Prakasha means there is a clarity of the thought, etc. Pravutti, there is a lot of impulse, lot of anxiety, lot of disturbance. Moha, delusion, any condition. Prakasham pravuttim mohameva, etc. Well, na dveshti sampravuttani, na nivrittani kankshati. This jnani does not desire, there should be clarity of the thought. Well, there should not be any delusion. I should go away from the delusion of the mind. No, let it be there in the mind. So, aham kutah dhyayami. Why should do dhyanam? For what reason I have to do dhyanam? Please tell me, what is the reason to do dhyanam? Let mind go through its own fluctuation. I am aware. I am sakshi, that's it. I am sakshi of this mind. And so, definitely, which is mithya, that's the base thing. Base thing is mithyatva nishchaya. When mithyatva nishchaya goes here and there, the nishtha also goes here and there. That's how. The anatma is mithya, means mithya. Mithya means it is apparent. Pratiti they call. It is pratiti. Anything which is appearance will not loom large. Will not loom large for you. Therefore, mithyatva nishchaya is very essential. Madhusudana Saraswati says this at one place. Advaita nishtha comes when the mithyatva nishchaya of Advaitam takes place. Very essential. Anyway, so this is what he says here. This is biography of a Jnani. He himself is telling autobiography also, you can see. Okay. Now let's go to verse 265. Vikshepo nasti yasman me na samadhistato mama vikshepo va samadhirva manasasyad vikarinaha. So this Jivan Mukta loudly proclaims this. Me vikshepaha nasti. Either this Nitya Mukta Atma does not have a problem of vikshepa. And even if it has, mind has a vikshepa. So the word vikshepa has a 2 meaning in Vedanta. Vikshepa means, a projection of a Dvaitam is also vikshepa. Avarana Vikshepa, you know very well. And the Vikshepa means a general disturbance of the mind. Both the meanings we take, depending upon the context we take. So here, me Vikshepa nasti. So here we should take the disturbances of the mind. Me nasti. It's not in me. They shine in me. They exist in me. But they are non-separate from me. They are just appearances in me. They have arisen, they will subside in me. They have arisen from me, they will subside in me. So they are there. Let them be there. They will resolve on their own. One thing is certain for them, that everything has a natural death. Everything has a natural death. Except Atma. Everything. Jatasi dhruva mrityu means natural death. Yeah, everything. So if you feel that the thing looms large and you can't wait for its death, do something. Remedy. But if you are aware of this fact and you are able to sustain, let it be there, I don't mind it, because it is going to go away. Then in that case you can wait and it will go away. It goes away. Not it will go, it goes away. It goes away. Therefore, ultimately, so Atma does not have a problem of this Vikshepa. Mind has a problem of Vikshepa, and it is not my problem. And mind may need some repair, etc. work. Well, I may include mind repair as, say, hobby. Condition of mind basically has nothing to do with my Swarupa. So no problem of Vikshepa. So na samadhim, I don't require samadhi abhyasa. Tataha tasmat, means yasmat vikshepa nasti, tasmat samadhi api nasti. Since vikshepa is not there in me, and therefore I don't need samadhi, meditation, etc. It is there in the mind, let it be there, it will go away. So Shastra talks about this remedy for vikshepa in the mind, as long as I look upon mind as myself. When I approach Shastra, definitely I look upon myself as a pramata, the mind. I look upon this body-mind sense complex as myself. But at that time, I have to address vikshepa. But now, once I gain this knowledge, vikshepaha samadhiva manasaha vikarinaha syat. Vikarinaha, modes, modifications, manasaha of the mind. Either samadhi, either vikshepa. They are all thought modification. Thoughts, they become, dormant. That's called samadhi. Chitta vritti nirodha. When thoughts, your mind, your antakaranam is there without thoughts because of the yoga abhyasa. So you have brought to the samadhi state where now you have done a nirodha of all the vrittis. So your antakaranam is there but without thought. So ultimately it's a condition of mind. Or vikshepaha, lots of agitation in the mind. So, vikshepaha samadhiva, manasaha vikarinaha. They both belong to mind. They are modifications of the mind. And you want to say, that will solve the meditation will solve the problem. Yes, meditation solves the problem. Correct? Vikshepa goes away and brings to the samadhi level. You can do that. Yes, very good. Then that is good. Why don't you do that? But that doesn't solve the problem permanently. Again, thoughts will come. Because ultimately, what thought will come is not based on your free will. Okay? Again, God's will come. Again, God's will. Yeah. What kind of a condition of the mind should be there? It's not based on free will. Otherwise, nobody will have this problem in this world. Why should anyone go to this psychologist or psychotherapist? Why should they go? Why should we want all the time I am Brahman, thought should be. Listen, that doesn't remain. And even if you don't want, still certain time if certain bad thought comes, certain time dullness comes. All this comes in the mind based on guna. But then the predominance of guna also is governed by this karma phaladata, God's will ultimately. I want my mind to be sattvic all the time. That's your free will, of course. But then, it's not. And therefore meditation, suppose I do, in order to bring the mind from the vikshepa to samadhi, towards samadhi. But again the thoughts will come. That's how people who are doing yoga abhyasa and goes to samadhi also, yeah, they make the mind free from the thought, etc. That is very nice. But once they come back, utthanam, when they come back, they feel too much of problems. Because they have experienced the mind which is totally still, right? Peaceful, totally. And then that state, because it's a shanta vritti, and therefore you enjoy yourself, because the mind becomes very quiet, you manifest clearly in the mind. Shanta vritti, satvika vritti, well, and there is nothing else, no dvaitam, no problem. Because aham vritti, idam vritti, both you have made it quiet. We'll be discussing in 11th chapter, Yogananda, of this Pancadasi. So it is good, very good. That's the difference between a deep sleep state and samadhi. In deep sleep state, this aham vritti, the hankara, basically goes back to the causal state. Karana Sharira. Sukshma Sharira goes back to the Karana Sharira. And there also, when it goes away, so whole Dvaitam goes away. The very aham vritti, ahankara, when it has a laya in the Karana Sharira, in deep sleep, then idam vritti also is not there. So Dvaitam also is not there. Aham idam. Dvaitam is not there, and just you are there. You enjoy yourself through avidya vritti. That's a issue. Through avidya vritti, Karana Sharira vritti. And when you enjoy yourself through avidya, means you don't know yourself. You enjoy yourself. You are with yourself. But yet avidya is there. No experience takes place without vritti. And so if you are experiencing yourself as ananda, definitely there is a vritti. But that's called Karana Sharira vritti, avidya vritti. And because of that, I don't know myself in a deep sleep state. In a samadhi, you deliberately do a nirodha of the vrittis, idam vritti and aham vritti, based on your nishchaya about idam jagat and aham jiva. What nishchaya? Both are mithya. Aham idam, both are mithya. Jiva and jagat, both are mithya. Shravana mananam you have done. You have done mithyatva nishchaya. And now you are doing this nirodha. Well, consciously. Shanaihi uparamed buddhya dhruti grihitaya. Shanaihi. Slowly do nirodha. Yogastu chitta vritti nirodha. So this is how people who advocate samadhi is we can understand them very well. So when vritti, all the vrittis are gone, mind is very much there. If mind is not there, means it has resolved into cause, then that is a deep sleep state. No, mind is very much there, but without thoughts. And then, well, mind is very quiet. No vritti, aham idam vritti, dvaita, etc. is not there, vikshepa is not there, raga dvesha, etc. is not there, believing that one has a vairagyam. And therefore, that is also not there. Such a mind, so easy to understand that I am very sakshi of the mind. Very easy to understand. Generally, when any thought occurs in the mind, you get carried away with that. And so here now, aham vritti also has stopped. Ahankara is not there. I mean, become nirodha, not laya. Laya is in sushupti. Nirodha in samadhi. Ahankara is present, jagrat. Ahankara is present, jagrat. Ahankara is made almost negligible by, we call nirodha. That is samadhi. Ahankara is laya, has resolved, sushupti. That is how it is. So, why they advocate samadhi? I am just giving a reason here. But anyway, in our case, Nididhyasana, we constantly dwell upon the teaching and understand more and more mithyatvam of the anatma and thereby disidentify with it. That we do. Our emphasis is on Atma and Atma Viveka. But their emphasis is on experiencing non-duality. where even this ahankara will not be there. Ahankara is not there, then idam also will not be. Aham is not there, idam also will not be there. Aham goes away, and idam will remain. That will never happen. When you see something, you are the seer automatically. Automatically. If you hear something, you are here. No, Samaji, I hear, but I'm not hearer. That won't be. So hearer, heard, seer's sight, whatever, smeller and the object of smell. That duality will be there. That duality is just aham idam vritti only. Aham vritti and idam vritti. That's all mind is. So when you do this kind of a nirodha, aham idam vritti nirodha, then definitely mind is there, but without thoughts. Such a mind has no vikshepa. Advaitam is not there, raga, dvesha, etc. Other things are also not there naturally. And such a quiet mind, well, I manifest in that mind very clearly. That's what it is. And so you enjoy yourself. You are with yourself. That's it. No more projection of Dvaitam, etc. You are with yourself. That's called Brahmananda, etc. In deep sleep state, Ahankara resolves. Ahamidam both resolves into Karana. And thereby you enjoy yourself. But here you, with a yoga abhyasa, you do that. Anyway, so Vikshepaha, Samadhiva, they are all basically meant for the mind. Even Samadhi also cannot solve problem permanently. Once you come out of it, well, vrittis are going to occur. Because it's the nature of the mind to think and to have vrittis. And therefore, I don't want to do any meditation. Either a Vikshepa or a Samadhi, I don't want to do anything for any purpose. And thoughts are based on three factors. One is will, second is the world, thoughts based on world, experiencing the world, and the third is a vasana. And basically of these three factors, well, we have got a limited control over our will, and other two are out of control. Other two means what? Vasanas, out of control. It's a baggage. You have that baggage. That's it. Vasanas from all several janmas. You have in that it is not your will. You have. No, but Swamiji, ultimately I have experience based on my will, and thereby after experience the vasanas have arisen, and therefore ultimately it is my will. Whatever it is, vasanas are generated of experiences. There you cannot do anything. You cannot do anything, and they are there now. Now you say that this is all ultimately will based, whatever. Vasanas are there now. That will influence your thought. Your will can influence the thought. Third is world can influence the thought. World is out of your control. Vasanas is out of control. Free will, total control. No, sir. Your free will is always colored by your likes and dislikes and fancies. And therefore, free will is never free. This is Pujya Swamiji's word. Okay, I borrow a lot of things. Free will is never free. It is under pressure. All the time under pressure. So the mind, the thoughts are influenced by these three factors. Most of them is out of your control. And therefore, I can't control thoughts fully. Perfecting mind is a useless proposal. Perfecting mind is a useless proposal. But then we should not, you only talked about, and Pujya Swamiji was talking about emotional maturity, Vedanta and emotional maturity. The emotional maturity is what? You do you think that Atma becomes mature? What do you think? No, mind should become mature. Then it is towards perfection or not? It is toward perfection. Making the mind mature, right, is ultimately to throw it nicely. That's it. The way banana is ripened, we put in certain things so that the skin will ripe. Ultimately for what? To eat or to easily peel it and throw? To easily peel and throw. And therefore mind also is become mature emotionally, right? Ripe, ultimately to throw. That's it. It has no connection with the self. This is how the thing is. And therefore, So we improve the mind for dropping, not for perfecting. There is no perfect mind in the world. Emotionally also, believe my words, emotionally also, of even wise person also, believe my words. That's how people, we should not do, but people try to find, certain emotional limitations of Gnani. People do that, we should not do, but thinking that his mind is perfect mind. No, there is no perfect mind. Anyway, so this is what the regarding, 265 verse in which he said this. 266. Nityanubhava rupasya komevanubhava prithak kritam krityam prapaniyam praptamityeva nishchayah. So thus Jivan Mukta says that I am Nitya Mukta, I won't practice any sadhanam. He does not say I will not do anything. He does a lot of things, loka kshemartham, loka prayojanartham, loka sangra, etc. Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, all this he may chant also. He may do Nitya Puja also. Nitya Puja. All Shankaracharyas do Nitya Puja, Chandramaulishvara. Then Swamiji may be asking for moksha. No, that is for Loka Kalyana. Their sankalpa I have heard. They used to do sankalpa, I have heard that sankalpa. Shankaracharya ji, our Adi Shankaracharya ji has told them to do for the Kalyanam, for the entire, for the welfare of all the beings. And so they do. Anyway, so basically I won't do any sadhanam for moksha. I will do thousands of things for Loka Sangranartham, including even Nitya Puja also. And so I don't require even meditation for removing Vikshepa or Vyavahara. Okay, question is, should not you do Samadhi for a direct experience for Atma? You have got Jnanam through Shravan Mananam, etc. You have got clarity through Guru Upadesha. We understand. But at least practice meditation for gaining direct experience of Atma. So that is what now he is answering. He says, Nitya Anubhava Rupasya. Well, why should Komeva Anubhav Pruthak? Why should I have a separate experience of a self? Why? Because I am experiencing this Atma, Kutastha, limitless consciousness all the time. Nitya Anubhava Rupasya. Vidyaranya says there is a Samanya Atma Anubhava which is universally available for all. Other than Samanya Anubhava, well, there is no separate Atma Anubhava for which I require a meditation. So Nitya Anubhava Rupasya Atmanaha. When you talk about even various states of yourself called Jagrat, Sapna, Sushupti, etc., that very proves that there is something which has noted this change from one state to the other. Right? Otherwise, how will you know? That's how Acharya says, Jagrat, Sapna, Sushuptisu, Sputatara, Yasamvit, Vrijrumbhate. Yasamvit. This Atma, the consciousness, is very much there in all the three states to talk about the changes from Jagrat to Sapna, Sapna to Sushupti, etc. And therefore, because of which only all the three types of experiences takes place. And therefore, Atma is ever experienced by all. And therefore, I don't need a separate experience. Komeva Anubhava Pruthak. Pruthak means separate, independent. Well, different type of experience is required. Direct experience of Atma is required. No. Nitya Anubhava Rupasya. It is experienced as a consciousness, as a Atma, as a Kutastha for all. Yeah, acha? This is the thing? Yeah. Atma as a Kutastha only is experience? Yeah. Then why did you study this all Pancadasi, and why did you study Upanishad and Brahma Sutra? And why did you study? If it is experienced all the time, one and by all, one who has not studied, he is also experiencing Kutastha. And you also say, I am also experiencing Kutastha directly. Then why? Why do you study? So if Atma is ever experienced, why one should study a Shastra? Our answer you know very well. Shastra is studied not for experiencing consciousness. Shastra is studying basically to know the nature of that directly experienced consciousness. Okay? That's it. That conscious being you are telling, but you are never saying I am limitless consciousness. In fact, you say I am body, because body is conscious. So you said I am body. Mind is conscious. So you said I am mind. the senses are conscious. You say I am senses. That's a mistake you are doing. Even though you are directly experiencing consciousness, because consciousness is self-revealing, anything which is self-revealing has no inhibition to experience. In fact, that is the basis of all experiences. If that is not there, where is experience? And therefore, there is no question of a separate experiencing the Atma. Atma is one because it's an essence of whole experience. Atma is one because of which all experience takes place. And therefore, that Atma is experienced directly. That is also not correct, by the way. Let me tell you very clearly. Many people, so-called big people, I have heard somebody before 2 days, they say Atma is, I am the experiencer and I am experienced. Atma, I experience Atma. You should not say. There cannot be subject and object one. I am experiencer and object of experience also is me. You should not say, I need not experience myself because I am self-conscious. That's the thing. People say, there is nothing else required to experience myself. I experience myself. Means object of experience also is myself and I am the very experiencer. One should never say this. This has been very nicely brought out in a Taittiriya book of a Pujya Swamiji. Kindly read it in second volume. It is very nice. And then, the Purapakshi, there is a Purapaksha also. I am the one who is a scratcher and I am the one what is scratched. And, but where there are, the one who scratches is one. What is scratched is different part. So where there are avayavas, various parts are there, one part becomes a subject, other part becomes a object. But in case of an Atma, which is partless, what part becomes subject and what part becomes object? There is another example also they give. I am the experience of that air which comes out, and the object of experience also is me alone, my shvasa. So this my breath is, it is part of me. So it's a subject and it is object also because you experience it in form of touch. That is also there. Where you experience this in the forms of touch, it is the hand. And the subject, which is, you take it, air as a part of you, that's a prana. So one is a hand, one is a prana, one is a sukshma sharira, other is a sthula sharira. Kya baat hai? So where the parts are there, definitely one part becomes subject, other part becomes object. Where there is no part, in a partless thing, what is subject and what is object? One should never say, I experience myself all the time. Pujya Swami said at a length very much in that. He says, I am self-consciousness. There is no need of experience. Because of me, all experience takes place. I need not experience myself. That's it. And therefore, ultimately, so the Shastra study we do for this purpose, to know the nature of consciousness, which is limitless, etc., which is not a part, product, property, etc., of the body, which is not limited by the boundaries of the body, which doesn't die, etc. All this to know, you study Shastra. But there is no question of direct experience of consciousness. Separate direct experience of consciousness. Or as a paroksha jnanam, etc. No. What I understood from Shastra is aparoksha jnana. Because I correct my mistake. That's it. What I directly experience, about that I have some notion. I correct those notions. That's it. Only change happens is you drop the notion. No change happens after Atma Sakshatkara, after self-realization. No change happens. Only the notion pertaining to the self goes up. That's it. Nothing happens. Everything remains as it is. And that he is going to tell in the next verse. We'll see that on Monday. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.